Ladies, gentlemen, welcome to the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3 Playoffs. How is everyone doing? I'm Wardy with you tonight for our first quarter-final match of the third season of the SC2 Improved Team League. It's been 11, 12 long, hard weeks of group stage matches. It's all over now, and now it comes down to a single elimination bracket to determine who is going to move on and be crowned as champions of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. And what a match we have for our first quarter-final match of this season. Cascade versus mYinsanity, a rematch from the Season 1 Grand Finals where mYinsanity came out on top with a 4-1 victory in the end. An all-kill from Soral back then. But can they do it again here? Cascade have become a much stronger team over time. My StarCraft volume's a little off, so please tell me if this volume and stuff's okay as we go here tonight. So yeah, back then Soral pulled off the all-kill, but you know, Cascade are possibly one of the teams of the team who could have advanced the most since then, picking up players such as Cass, picking up Strelok as well now, who is going to be their starting player here today. They have become a very strong team, and I'm actually quite scared because mYinsanity, you know, they've not had the strongest season. They've had a couple of losses here and there. They've not been perfect. So Cascade, with their strongest lineup, which I'm sure is what they're going to send, really do have a chance of picking this up. Guys, let's go in game, introduce our players, and get started with our best of 7 all-kill match. If I can hit the right button. In the upper left-hand corner, we have our pink Zerg player representing mYinsanity. It's Zervas. And spawning down in the 6 o'clock position, our red Terran player, the newest recruit to Cascade. It's Strelok, the red Terran player, here in the south position. Barracks. Gas on the way. Strelok already positioning his barracks in such a way as to set up to build your reactor here a little bit later on. But apart from that, not too much to talk about right at the start of this game. So, you know, up on the screen, just for a couple of moments here, we do have the stats and stuff. And again, this is a rematch from the Grand Finals of Season 1, where Cascade were the runners-up and mYinsanity, they were the champions. Cascade, they just missed out of the playoffs last season. And mYinsanity had a disappointing finish after losing to Alien Invasion, I believe, in the quarterfinals. This season, they've both performed fairly similarly. 8-3 is for both of their match scores. But Cascade having a few more convincing victories with a bit of a better map score coming into things. They finished second in their group, mYinsanity third, and hence they are matched up here in the quarterfinals. See an SCV coming across the map. We do have a pretty standard opening hatchery, pool, gas coming out of our Zerg player, and first Reaper on the way across the map in just a few moments here for Strelok. So nothing too crazy to mention. The Overlord, the first Overlord's gone in the wrong direction. SCV scouts in the correct direction to begin with, which means that Reaper can begin straight away getting over to the right side of the map, getting some scouting, getting some, you know, doing a little bit of damage, trying to pick off a drone or two, forcing a couple of spore crawlers to be made to keep them drones alive, as first Queen 2 Zerglings do start up now in that production tab. So, Strelok just comes in here, he'll see the gas most importantly, that's probably the most important thing he can see right now, and he'll see that it's not kind of a mega fast gas or anything, it wasn't a gas before the pool went down. He'll know that speed's just going to be coming up at about that 6-minute mark, and you know, he can be pretty free until then as his first Reaper comes up to the high ground. Ling's already backing off here as there's actually only 2 Lings being made, so going to try and hold this off with 2 Zerglings and wait for the Queens to come out to really help out here. And this first drone is going to get pulled away as actually there's a couple of Lings on the low ground as well which will come in here to help out. A couple of drones transferring now to the low ground as well. Queens are popping. And as these Queens come out, they will be able to help deflect these Reapers. One Zergling goes down, but that will be it for now, as this Reaper will not find any further damage here back at home. That command center on the way up here for Strelok. And other than that, not too much. I mean, pretty standard. Factory on the way, moving the mule away from the mineral line as to not waste any minerals on this main base. And because it was just a single Reaper to begin with, we're actually going to have a few Marines being made at the start of this before we really get into the Hellion production. So Hellions will be on the way very shortly, I imagine. One interesting thing Strelok could do is maybe add on a starport and go for a bit of an early drop with Hellions and these Marines, which he's got out very early on. But let's see if he wants to do that, or if he's just going to add a tech lab, you know, go into stim nice and quickly, pretty standard instead, and add on a third command center, of course, in the very near future. Overlord's getting ready to come in and scout a little bit for Zervas, as a few Marines actually do begin to head out on the map. This Reaper has jumped back in towards the main base, nothing else picked up, but has checked that that gas has not been mined any further than the initial 100 for speed, and there's 24 more gone from there, but nothing significant. He's not going to be able to really do anything with that. So yeah, not too much to really say about that is these before Marines come across and these two Hellions. So first little bit of aggression about to come in here, and we're actually going to see an armory being added on for Strelok. He's gone to this second gas as well, and he's going to try and do some damage. He's actually going to pick off this first Overlord, which is quite huge, because that means that already Zervas is going to hit a little bit of a supply block. He's not quite supply block there, but has to make another Overlord where he maybe didn't want to originally. Nice quick Baneling Nest on the way, and this is going to be good for defending against continued pressure, which is exactly what Strelok is aiming to go for here. Armory again on the way up, so the Hellbats, they are not far away. Third hatchery on the way down for Zervas as well, so he's trying to establish this third base. He's pushing his creep spread out towards that. As Strelok comes forward once again, waiting for the opportunity to go for another little bit of a fight perhaps, and is just waiting. Another Hellion crosses the map. That armory finishes up right now as the second factory added on, but the Overlord gonna see absolutely everything here. Sees the second factory, doesn't quite see that army, so he may not know about the Hellbats just yet. That Baneling Nest is just about to finish. Is he going to be able to get the Banelings out in time here as this army comes up the ramp? Just clearing out some creep for now. And another Hellion coming in, and these Queens going to start fighting these Hellbats, and Strelok going to group everything together now. The Banelings, 5 of them are on the way, and well, Strelok actually just backing off, isn't too interested in taking the fight here, and is just going to back off to the edge of the creep and wait here for any kind of fight which may occur. 5 Queens now starting to come forward, and maybe we're right to back off. He only has what, 1 transfuse, so he doesn't really want to be losing these Queens for no real reason. There's another Overlord may go down here. There's a lot of Zerglings though, but with good position, of course, it's going to be very tough to deal with that. Hellions actually morph back into Hellions, and they're going to try and maybe go for a bit of a run by, maybe just catch these Zerglings, and here he goes, trying to do a little something here. Zervas going for the surround, and ooh, he's actually going to grab it on just one of them then in the end. It looked as though he was going to get a few more than that perhaps, but no, not in the end, and a lot of Zerglings actually going down there with that final shot. And Strelok keeping a lot of this alive back at home. He's continuing to produce Hellions. He's continuing. He's starting to build tanks as well. Third command center on the way up. So again, he is going to be playing mech here in this game. And with a mech play, well, let's see what Zervas is going to choose to do against that. I mean, he definitely does know about this because he saw that second factory nice and early on. He's going to go into Mutalisks nonetheless. With this spy on the way, so he's going to open with some Mutalisks here, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was I would be surprised if it was more than 10 Mutalisks, just to initially force some turrets, force some fours out, and then switch into roaches / swarm hosts for the rest of the game. Let's see what happens. I mean, I guess a high unit account kind of works out as well. Depends how you want to really play it out. As these Hellions looking for an opportunity here, and this Zergling count isn't really enough. The Baneling's getting very close here, but they all are going to get roasted in the end. Get just a couple of these Hellions, and whoa, Hellions keep on moving forward, and these Zerglings actually have to cancel from morphing into Banelings. Can Strelok really do any damage with these though? I mean, because he's playing mech, it's not that important to keep these Hellions alive, because he's going to keep remaking them, so he's going to be able to take his third base in plenty of time anyway. He scouts the Spire, and that's a pretty nice scout here, immediately seeing what his opponent's plan is for at least the start of this game. So I would say it's worthwhile. He didn't necessarily get much damage done, but he came down a fair few Zerglings, and he saw that Spire as well, so he has a pretty good idea about what's coming in now. As he adds on a Viking, he goes into a 4 as well, and this command center is going to float out towards the third base now, and it's going to be landing here in the next few moments. As just has a Zergling here to block it for now. A couple of Hellions should be able to move out and sort that out without too much of an issue. However, 6 meters on the way, plus melee upgrades actually coming in here still for our Zerg player as well. As he's getting his flyer attacks also, so there's the infestation pick coming down, as we would expect. I mean, Rotor on 2, so he is going to transition out of this at some point. Just wants to stick with the Lingamuter to begin with here, so let's see what exactly you can actually get done with. I'm quite intrigued as to how exactly this may turn out, as the first few meters starting across the map, and Hellions will confirm this. Infernal Preigniter has finished, and that helps clean out that Zergling on the tower nice and quickly, but that's about it, as these Hellions, one of them just getting saved. They're a little bit sloppy by Strelok, could have been a little bit better, as straight away one of the Mutalisks getting turned around after receiving a volley from the 4 and the Vikings. And yeah, missile attacks now coming in. He didn't let melee attacks finish there, no, so this makes a little bit more sense to me to actually start missile attacks and not melee attacks. I mean, upgrading the meters fair enough, but melee was making me wonder a little bit, as we do see Zervas just continuing to expand here. 4th base finished, and the 5th base is actually already halfway done. So just continuing to expand nice and quickly throughout this game, as the swarm hosts do begin in the production. So swarm hosts on the way here, and Zervas just continuing on building whatever he can build basically. Swarm hosts and Ravens on the way out here for Strelok as well. Contaminated on a factory, which is actually just stopping a Hellbat for now, not too important, as 4th base being creeped up by an Overlord right now. And, I mean, Strelok's just going to be quite happy to sit here for a little while. Again, Raven's already on the way, so he's already preparing for a very late game scenario here. As up to the top side of the map, the Mutalisks do cut off a little bit of a Hellion run by, so stopping any damage being done, these Hellions just going to have to back off for now. Viking coming over here to start clearing out this 4th base. No 4th command center down on the map just yet, unless I'm mistaken. So, he's just started one now, so there it is in the natural. So, you know, it's going to be a little while before he lands that 4th base, but nice to kill off an Overlord and, you know, do a little bit of free damage. Now this group spread is starting to get a little bit scary here. Zervas continuing to push this across the map. Scanning the main base will reveal a research and infestation pit. And he'll see no hive, which is, I guess, is one of the more important things that he wants to know about. Moving forward here, so going to get a little bit aggressive, cleans out a little bit of this creep, of course, free to do, no scans required because of the Raven added into his army. Meter's coming into the right-hand side, though, and chasing down a barracks right now. And looks as though Strelok is going to turn around to try and chase these Muters away. I wouldn't imagine these Muters are going to stick around for too long, though, as just that one in the end, just managing to survive. Oh, nope, not in the end then, as a little bit of a mistake here by Zervas. Actually loses him a couple more Mutalisks, and that's not the way he will have wanted to start. This does force the army to turn around, however, and so I'm just going to have to sit a little bit more passively for now, as them Marines get cleaned out without too much of an issue. Another Hellion run by being set around this top side of the map. Muters are once again in the same position as before, and once again shut this down before it even happens. Swarm hosts starting to come forward here. A couple of tanks have been left behind, but they will begin to get a little bit of damage done as Strelok is pushing through the middle of the map, so he's going to get aggressive right now. He's going to say, let's take this fight to you. But I think the Swarm host number is kind of at that point where it's just going to be a little bit too much now. I like what Strelok's doing. He's just going to move back from this. He's not going to actually take a fight. He's just looking to clean up the creep and make sure the Zerg doesn't have such easy map control. I mean, it's going to be re-established here pretty quickly, but it's nice to be able to keep pushing that back and not let himself be trapped on 3 bases or 4 bases forever. Give himself some opportunities. As again, this 5th base for the Zerg player is up and running. And both players getting to that maxed out stage, and still not really too much going to be happening here. Hive now on the way for our Zerg player, as I managed to kick my earphones out of my ears. Coming forward here, Rave, a round of Locusts. It's not really going to do too much. PDD having to be used though. Nothing. Not too much of a loss here for Strelok as he moves forward again. He's going to look to take another fight against these Locusts, and he's just going to have to back off, let his tanks do the work, because he doesn't want to take free damage, and already starting to lose a 4. He does lose a Hellbat, and again, these Swarm hosts making it very hard for him to push forward across the map right now. A few more Mutalisks being added on by Zervas. He's again sending these to the top side, and okay, we've got a couple turrets here, so this should be about adequate to deal with these incoming Mutalisks. But let's see if Muters, I guess maybe 2 turrets aren't that many. He's standing a bit out of range right now to begin with, though, and the target fire isn't there either, so Zervas actually losing 2 Mutalisks already. A couple of SCVs come in to repair, and 1 turret goes down. Bane's coming in as well, so this 4th base under, well, quite a bit of attack here. And is he just going to blow the Baners up on the planetary forest? I don't think he should. The units for Strelok coming in right now. Locust chasing the army around as well. Going to die just before they get to attack onto the space. Whoa, the planetary forest actually dies because he did slam them Baners into it there. So Strelok losing a 4th command center, and we'll have to rebuild this. But he is moving across the map as well, and he's actually going to get into a very good position. Another wave of Locusts hitting his 3rd base. Where are them Swarm hosts? They're down to the south and a little bit out of position now, as Strelok is going to be able to siege up completely freely near his opponent's bases. Needs to be careful though. I mean, he wants to lead, like, the tanks to this damage. He's losing a lot of Hellbats, a lot of kind of the tankiness in his army, as more tanks coming to join the fray. And Zervas asks for a quick pause here. So my stream's not listed on TL. Are you serious? Wow, TL, stop bugging out, man. Thanks, Scooter. It looks as though sometimes the TL sidebar is a little bit buggy. It looks as though it kicked Puri off as well. So, anyways, we've got it back up. No worries. Okay, so Zervas with a little bit of a delay, as I mean, his opponent is in a very, very strong position right now. Now these Vipers, which I've actually just spotted here, are they've got a lot of energy, and honestly, for a couple of blinding clouds on this very clumped up tank line, and that could be you know, he could lose all of this very, very quickly. So you know, Strelok's not in an amazing position right now. He does have to deal with these Vipers now, if them Vipers can get close enough, of course, because there are 5 Vikings here, so it's going to be important that these Mutalisks, wherever they are, where are the Mutalisks? I don't actually know where they are. They're still on the map, right? Yeah. No? Yeah. They're all the way up here. Okay, so it's very important that these come in at the same time to try and shoot down these get rid of the Vikings and come in, get rid of the Vikings and allow these Vipers to come in as well. Oh wait, nope. Okay, so just waiting here for the again, Strelok, he's moving forward here. He should be able to take out these bases because the next wave of Locusts is a little bit far away. Muta's coming in to try and help clean up. And again, I think he should maybe be able to get this base too, because these these Locusts are about to expire. Swarmhost moving forward to try and get into position. Tanks are just going to siege though, and of course PTDs are available. Dropping some meals, not mana meals. I'm pretty sure they are just to repair these units here. The Locusts moving forward, and well, Zervas in a little bit of a tough position right now as here we go, these Locusts begin to move forward, and PTD would be really nice right now not to lose too many of these tanks. There's 1, there's 2 dead. Strelok not interested, he's just going to move forward with his whole army and make sure he actually gets the kill on this. Muta's going to counterattack over towards this 4th base. Turret goes down, so Zervas, he's shutting down the economy of his opponent as well. And these Vikings, they're flying around, they're starting to pick off some overlords now. And, well, Strelok, he's actually losing quite a bit. He's actually pretty much lost every single tank, apart from a couple. And now he's just going to have to really get into retreat mode. There's a couple of PTTs all over the place as well. Muta's still flying around. Strelok, he is reinforcing with a lot of 4s being added on, but he's lost a lot of tanks. I kind of feel like the next thing he needs to make is going to be those tanks again. As, Vikings getting caught by these Mutalisks. As this 4 gets a shot off into the army of Mutas there. Zervas continuing to move forward now with these swarmers. He's going to try and cut off his opponent's army from retreating, and he needs to be careful. He doesn't really want to fight these Locusts at all, and it looks as though Strelok will escape, as he's going to have to build another. In fact, he's just lifting. No? Is that just another command center? It's just another command center. So he's finally going to get 4th base up and running, but he doesn't have a really solid kind of hold on his army position right now. A big shot on the Mutalisks once again here, and these Mutas taking a bunch of damage as Hellions coming up to this top side. They see this hatchery, and they can morph into Hellbats to, if they would like. They're actually just going to get away and maybe find somewhere more useful to. Okay, they are going to morph into Hellbats and try and kill this off. Wow, so Zervas backing off of his Swarmhost now as this one wave of Locusts comes forwards here, and Strelok going to hope that he maybe doesn't actually get to kill anything with it, and well, he loses a tank, but that's about it. Strelok with this 4th command center about to land. He really needs to land this to make sure his economy stays strong. Yeah, no, despite the damage Zervas has taken, Strelok has taken quite a bit of damage too. He's been denied a 4th base for a long time. And he needs to actually repair his 3rd command center as he's just about to get a 4th up. He actually lifts it just at the last moment there. And we'll have to just still repair this up though, as Locusts continue to move around. Hellions coming back across towards the main Terran army, which is starting to look pretty strong here once again. He unsieges, and it looks as though Strelok may be thinking it is time to go once again in this game. Muta's over to the right hand side again, cleaning out this base. This orbital command center never actually landed, so Strelok again being denied a 4th base, and that will continue to hurt him here if he lets this go on for too long. His tanks getting a lot of shots off onto these Locusts, and not much being done about it by the Zerg player. I mean, he can't do much else apart from walk forward with those. Hellions just coming up to the high ground here. Not really doing anything too decisive as army moves over to this side. Going to clean out this Overlord, clean out this Zergling as well. Finally try and get this 4th command center landed and mining, as some turrets are going to be added on here as defense against the Mutalisks. And he needs to get that set up over to the right hand side as well to get this 4th base defended. Nice abducts forward here. And Strelok, I feel, kind of sieging his tanks when he didn't really want to siege them in the end. Probably wanted to keep them unsieged to pull them back, but a little bit of an unfortunate timing is. Oh my god, this Swarmhost! Well, they just get that wave of Locusts out in time, but the Hellions got one big shot off there. Didn't really kill too many though, as now we see again a wave of Locusts being killed off, and Strelok going to try and make progress. As RO8 is coming in here again, continuing to try and kill off SCVs of our Terran player. Infestors are being made by a Zerg as well. Muta's coming forward, and the tanks have been left all alone, but here are the 4s. And how many Mutas can these 4s get? Oh, huge shot by the 4s, but the Mutas will continue to just trade the tanks. And it's kind of debatable who traded worse there. I'm not sure how many Mulists actually died, but all I can tell you is a lot of tanks did. I think it's better for Zervas, because I mean he can just rebuild his Mulists almost immediately. Strelok again not landing this 4th command center right now, and he really does need to say the least. So he needs to land this. In fact, he's pulling it back, and again he's just sitting back defensively. But he's really starting to run out of money. His natural mined out, his main base pretty much mined out, and his 3rd base has not got much to go on it. And again he's pulling this command center back, and I mean, does he just not feel as though he can defend it right now? Viper's coming forward here, and they will pick off a fair few units. And these logos continuing to come forward here, and will be taken down quite swiftly. And again, another burrowed Zergling is going to block this land, so Strelok looks as though he was just making a mistake, and now the Mutas are going to be very quick to respond to try and get over here. As already we see some 4s in position, and oh my god, the 4s immediately doing a lot of damage. But is it going to be enough? They're actually kind of trying to step away. They continue to do a lot. In fact, these Mutas are going to continue going down here. How much damage is he getting done? Wow, he takes down a lot of their Mutalisks. Zervas doesn't really care. He's got all these bases up around the map. He knows he can trade inefficiently if it means picking off a couple more units of his opponent. And again, denying this 4th base for a little bit longer. Strelok, his army really is starting to kind of wither a little bit. Kind of not be as strong as it once was. Got a few 4s being pulled in here, but they can escape quite rapidly. As now we actually have Infestors coming forward. A scan coming down from Strelok, seeing what his opponent's army is, what's there. And he sees them Infestors, which is quite nice to know about. His Mutas again going to head around this right hand side. He's finally landed this 4th command center. He's going to drop the Mule Hammer. But he really needs the gas as well. I mean, it's a lot more than just minerals here, which Strelok is struggling on. He really needs to get that gas going. And honestly, he probably even needs to start thinking about moving in towards a 5th base as well, as soon as he can, because, you know, this base is mined out, so he's essentially on 1 mining base compared to 1, 2, 3 of our Zerg player. Even this base is still a little bit more left in it than Strelok's 3rd base. Mutas coming in here, and, you know, they will take a lot of damage actually from these turrets. I think that's actually 4, maybe nearly 5 Mutalisks which have died. Strelok, he's not stopping this time. He's continuing to move forward, and there are turrets set up over here. The Logos coming in from behind, though, and some tanks already going to start going down. Vipers are going to get shot down by these Vikings, but some infested terrorists coming down as well. As a couple of fungal goes to land onto these PDDs, and well, not too much. It's going to have to just rely on continuing to drop the fungal growths here. But it will take these down with 1 more fungal, and there we go. Vikings going down, and this last Raven's just going to get away for now. And Strelok continues to push forward here, and again these wave of locusts continue to come forward again and again and again, as now these Vipers are actually going to be chased, and 1 more of them does go down. 2 remain, 2 more being made though, 7 more Mutas, 2 more Infestors being added on here. I just don't think Strelok really has enough firepower to get through this wave of locusts. He's going to maybe take down this base, but there's so many more bases to deal with. This one up here has been dealt with, but this one to the north side as well has to be killed off. Infestor goes down. But Zervas still has the money, and, well, a couple of reducts used, but he does get that 4 in the end. Mutas are going to come down to this bottom right-hand side. There's a lot of turrets here, and I'm not sure if he should really fight into this at all. A lot of damage will be done by these turrets, and, again, I mean, it's just a case of it's got to the point where he's just got so much money, he doesn't really care how badly he's trading. Now, the SCVs repairing this last turret here will buy him a lot of time, and some Vikings coming in, and a couple of Seeker missiles as well, and is Zervas paying attention? Kind of. And he does respond to that, as Strelok pulling back the rest of his army here, really starting to hurt. He's losing a lot. Another Seeker missile, but the Mutas will outrun this one without too much of an issue. And again, our Zerg seems to be in a pretty strong position right now. Another 4 getting taken down here. Zervas, well, what can I say? Just continuing to kind of be pushed back. Another Mutalisk going down here, and some random PDDs left from earlier fights. I mean, Zervas starting to have his economy limited, only 1 base up for him, but I mean, again, he's just got so many minerals already, he can re-establish bases like no tomorrow. And, I mean, at least Strelok has got a 5th command center on the way now, so he can get this into a landed position nice and quickly. Zervas re-establishing this creep through the middle of the map is really nice as well, gives him the ability to push forward a little bit more confidently. As Locust versus single Marine in a bunker. A few Hellions over here as well, more being produced in this main base right now, as Zervas going to change the direction of the attack. So So yeah, Zervas moving around the top side of the map as we actually see our Terran player sieging up as well. It looks as though Zervas is aware of this position and of his opponent here, and well, the abducts are numerous. As now the 4 is going to come in, a few more abducts, a lot of Vipers here. Mutas are going to get taken down though, and the Vipers are surely not going to be far to follow. Okay, well, turns out 4s don't do too much to Vipers. Some Hellions coming in as well. Can he survive the next wave of Locusts? I mean, every single wave of Locusts just weakens this Terran army a little bit more. As they're strong now, that 5th base again is going to be important. He's going to take down this 4th base of Zervas, but again, how much damage has he done has he taken by doing this, and you know, how much does it really hurt Zervas? Well, Zervas is definitely struggling for gas, so it's kind of becoming a mineral game right now. He's got a base coming up down here, and again, he's got this base set up here as well, so that's something else which Stark just has to kind of deal with. Scanning, trying to see what is coming his way, as these Swarmers are just going to burrow and try and cut off this army with the next wave of Locusts. So, well, Stark not quite prepared for those Locusts to be here, but he can run away from them. But of course, when we say running away, we mean kind of running deeper into the heart of the Zerg player. As Zergling's getting some damage done over here. 13 SCVs killed Strelok. I mean, he's got lots of mules, but again, not having SCVs is kind of an issue as well, to some extent, as Mutas are actually going to take down every single 4, and that means no more anti-air here for Strelok, and this army is on a suicide mission. As he's going to come in, he's going to take down another hatchery. Again, there's still this hatchery to the top side. There's still this hatchery down to the bottom as well. All of which can begin mining here for our Zerg player. And, well, a couple of Swarmers have been found, which is something kind of nice here finally for Strelok, I guess, as is he even going to get them killed? Oh, no way. Don't say they survive. Are they really going to survive? One of them does. Wow, that's a little bit sad then. A turret, auto turret coming down here in the end. We've got Hellbats all over the place as well, and I mean, the problem is there's just not really any standing army for Strelok anymore. I mean, there's only 48 supply left for him against 140 of Zervas, and I mean, throughout this game, our Zerg player, he's just been trading, and, you know, not the most efficient of trades, but Strelok, he really didn't put enough in, you know, he didn't really put enough importance into establishing this 4th base. You know, he left it just flying around doing nothing for a long time, and that lack of income, that lack of progress on the map has really kind of come back and really hurt him in here in the end. And as Zervas comes in with these Locusts and shuts down the very last mine of Strelok, you've got to question how much longer will he remain in this game. A couple more SCVs going down. Strelok down on 7 workers. He's got 39 army supply as Mutas are chasing away the 5th command center now. And I mean, Strelok, the majority of his army is actually pretty much Hellbats, Viking, and Raven. I've never really heard of that composition doing all too well against a Zerg player who's had all game long to prepare. Strelok kind of scanning this upper right base, seeing if that's up there. I think like he kind of doesn't really, you know, he kind of feels like, hey, I've killed a lot of bases. How do you just still have so much? And I mean, the simple matter of it was, like, yes, he killed a lot of bases, but he just never had the bases up for himself here. So Zervas is maybe going to lose this next hatchery. I'd be surprised if he did. I mean, the Mutas should be here in plenty of time. If not, Locust on the way. Even if he does lose the hatchery, it doesn't really matter, as he's got bases to the top side re-established. And I mean, again, these Hellbats now getting chased down. Strelok really is on his last legs now. As these last few Hellbats go down, what is left? Just some Vikings, some Ravens. And what's he going to do? I keep saying Raven instead of Raven. I mean, what's he going to do? He's actually going to land the Vikings and try and kill off this hatchery. But I mean, there's so many Zerglings here, and PGD's put down to try and help against the Queens, and Mutla's going to try and chase as well. I mean, there's just so many Swarmers though. How do you ever deal with this number of Swarmers? I don't really know. Some Infestors in as well to try and potentially lock down a fungal growth. And it looks as though Cascade going to be dropping map number 1 here today. And Strelok, in what I believe is his first appearance for his new team, will not be able to perform as he performed for Alien Invasion in the RSTL, where he actually led his team to 2nd place. A few Zerglings continuing to be killed off here, and Strelok, again, I don't really know what he's planning to try and do. He has very little right now. Admittedly, his opponent does have a lot of Zerglings which can be killed, but again, how do you ever deal with the Swarmers? How do you ever deal with the fact the Zerg player has the entire map under his control? Again, I just don't really think you do, is the simple answer, plain and simple. I just don't think you can. Zervas continuing to come forward here, and I mean, it's just kind of waiting, right, as these Vikings move forward in a fungal growth. Well, okay, Zervas not paying enough attention. isn't quite able to land the fungal, and again, these are the last few units here. Some secret missiles coming down, so I guess if he's saying, you know, if I can keep these alive... Okay, he's just saying I want to kill off some Swarm Hosts before this game ends. Lands a few shots with the secret missiles, and that will be game 1 in favour. Oh, don't say my computer's going to do this. Ah, oh, piss off. There we go. That'll be game 1 in favour of mYinsanity, guys. So, game 1 going the way of mYinsanity. And, well, it was a long time, especially a 40-minute game, especially with a couple of delays. I'm just going to restart my SC2, so I just have to tell the guys that. So yeah, game 1 to mYinsanity. Zervas taking down Strelok there in game number 1 to put mYinsanity into the lead in this best of 7 all-kill series, guys. What we're going to do is we're going to restart, take a quick break, and when we come back, it'll be game number 2 between Cascade and mYinsanity without much further to do. So guys, don't go far. Game 2 of MYI versus CSC is on the way. This is the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that follow button on the channel. See when we go live, we have all of the SC2 Improved Team League playoff matches. We've got StarTale playing on Friday. We've got a bunch of stuff coming in, so make sure you check it out and hit that follow button to see when we are going live. Guys, we'll be back in a few moments' time. Shout out already to Sarcasm Dote and Toss No Hands Required for hitting those follow buttons already tonight. Guys, we'll be back in a few moments for game 2 of mYinsanity. Well, this time the hatchery isn't even going to go down. Great. So this probably works out better for Autonomous in the end then. So, you know, whatever. It's worked out better for Autonomous, I would say. Maybe, I don't even know. Whatever. Let's just forget this ever actually happened. Because what an absolute joke that was. So, sorry for the delays. Today is not going very well. Zervas is back at home, just going to actually use his extra money to go free hatch before pool, but then he... Was that the cancel from earlier? Like that must have been the cancel from earlier, right? You know, he tried to cancel it over here, then the lag kicked in and it's cancelled this hatchery instead. Oh my god, right, so... This is really beginning to drag on a little bit. Hopefully it's all plain sailing from here on out. Guys, how is everyone doing? Hope you're all having a good time. I wouldn't be surprised if you're not. Thank you for sitting through our issues. Not everything is plain sailing. Not everything is nice and easy to work around, so... Anyways, let's see what happens as Nexus finishes up here and Adomus has his Cybercore on the way. We're finally going to get into this PvZ. Zervas with his pool on the way. He's got a gas going as well already, so he's going to have a nice quick speed following this free hatchery before pool opening, which he is going for right now. So, yeah. Pool finishes up here, and this little drone going to come down and mine on the natural expansion as second hatchery and third hatchery now both finished. So, Zervas all set to go. Did he cancel both of them? No way, he must have, right? I didn't actually, I just thought he cancelled this one over here, but he must have cancelled both. Because he, because this one finished after this one. Are you kidding me? So, let's see what happens here in this game. Donovan's just going to drop a forge here to begin with. And, he's going to drop a forge and he's going to be able to start some upgrades. And generally, forge plays will take you later in towards the game. You know, it'll generally set you up for a bit of a stronger mid-game and whatever else. So, maybe expecting a bit of a longer game from Adonis. Maybe go towards a third base. Definitely something we've seen him do beforehand in the Team League on this map. So, we'll see what happens. A couple of Zergons coming across here now, and Adonis is going to be able to shoot at these a little bit. They're coming in towards this third, but I mean, there's not really much information for them to gain apart from the fact it's not a mega early third. But other than that, this motorship kill continued chase doesn't actually kill off this Zergon at the third, which is a little bit of a mistake. but nothing too major right now. Warp gate about 60% of the way done. There's a couple of centimeters are going to turn this overload around, so absolutely okay. Well, Zervas, he sees the naturals, so he sees the forge, he sees a couple of gateways, but that's all he sees. One of the main things he can look out for right now is this double gas and see when that's taken. You know, if it's not taken for quite some time, I mean, it's getting up to that kind of time right now, then he can either assume some kind of early pressure off gateways or third base, and he actually spots the third base with his Zergling there. So yeah. 3 Zerglings come up to the high ground. And they're going to start working through these rocks. So, yeah, not really much going on in the game. Just this third hatchery on the way. Rotron, Evo Chamber, and again, both these guys pretty much just skipping the early game, skipping all of that crap, getting straight up into the real macro game here. Twilight Council coming in for Adominus. Ooh, a second Twilight Council as well. Ooh, a little bit of a mistake by Adominus here. Of course, he wants this Twilight Council to go into Blink and to go into +2, but seems to have forgotten that he's already made one, so a little bit of a mistake early on in this game from Adominus, as we're going to see some gateways added on. Maybe we should regame. You know, maybe we should just pause, tell him that, you know, tell him what's happened, and let him regame and cancel this Twilight Council. 3 more gateways again being added on to help defend this third base that +1 can stop is +2 right now, and it is just gonna let the Twilight... A little bit sad. So Twilight Council's second version does finish here. Blink starts up for Adominus, and yeah, we can check that units lost tab if you cancel both. Is there structures lost? I don't know how to go on structures lost. Oh, resources lost. There we go. Wow, so you did cancel both, right? Because he lost an Overlord and 2 hatcheries. Yeah, wow. There you go. Let's see what you mean here. I was thinking units lost. Getting myself confused. 4th base already on the way here for Zervas, getting set up again for the longer game. You know, when your opponent's on a fast third, no reason to delay that 4th base. His tech continues as well here. Infestation Pit about to finish. We might see Swarmhost coming in then in the next few moments of Aspire on the way, also being hidden here, so that's quite interesting. So maybe he wants the Infestation Pit to be spotted by hallucination, and then to actually just make Mutalisks as kind of a surprise to Adominus. The Stalker here taking down a Zergling, some Zerglings coming around the left-hand side of the map, and we'll be able to come forward, and we'll actually get picked off here by this army. Adominus, maybe? Yes, okay, there we go. So, Adominus moving across the map, getting a War Prism as well to kind of help out, and he's going to try and go for a bit of a timing here with... you know, basically with his +2, with Blink finishing, Warp Prism will help him reinforce this attack. And honestly, Zervas doesn't have all too much right now. He's got some Zerglings on the way in. A lot of his army is kind of down to the bottom side of the map, and he was trying to do a little bit of damage over here. And he is actually starting to lose Overlords, and this is not good. Blink about to finish here, and again, +2 is not too far away either. Adominus very indecisive about what he actually wants to try and kill. He's not going to get that Overlord either here, and the force fields aren't so great. And units coming in from all sides, but it looks as though there's just too much for Adominus right now as he lifts up the sentries. Really nice control by Adominus, keeping that sentry and the Stalker alive right now. Blinking back here as well, and there's that one Stalker that's just on such low hit points. It's starting to regain shields now though, and blinking forward, Adominus, he finally loses one Stalker. Is that his first unit of the game? He's lost 4 units. This is a crazy good attack for Adominus, and Zervas has just been caught being way too greedy here, and just isn't going to have enough up at a good enough time to have to do anything. GG called, and Adominus takes the victory to put us at level pegging here in this series. 1 game apiece in this best of 7 all kill, and game 3 will go. We'll be heading into game 3 with the opportunity for either team to take the lead in this clan war. Twilight Council push by Toss says DEM in the chat. Yeah, I've never quite seen a double Twilight Council timing before, but today we did. Guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break here. I'm going to go and literally scream at a wall or something at how ridiculous that was. And hopefully when we come back, we'll have no more issues. We'll have no more problems. We're just going to be happy and stuff. And we're going to have really good games and stuff like that. So guys, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Shout out to Colossal P hitting that follow button on the stream. And again, guys, we'll be back in a few moments with Game 3 of this Best of 7 All Kill to determine who's going through to the semi-finals of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. And see what these guys have to show us. So, in the lower left-hand corner of the map, we have our Red Pros player from Cascade taking down Zervas in game number 2. It's Adominus. In the upper right-hand corner, the blue Zerg player from mYinsanity. It is Cyril here in the upper right-hand corner. And we've seen him come out and do a lot of damage against teams so far this season. So let's keep our eyes on what he can pull here today against Adominus. So, let's, before all the issues started in that last game, I was trying to talk about this little, info tab up here right now. So these are the losses from both teams in the group stage, and although both teams finished with an 8-3 scoreline, you can see that when mYinsanity lost, they really did lose. 1-4 against Skillforge, 1-4 against Alternate, and an all killed by Team Extreme Supremacy. Whereas Cascade, they only ever lost by a difference of 2 maps, and that was against All Authority there, and 3-4 against Redbloods, who actually finished first in the group, and 3-4 against StarTale as well. So kind of a very kind of contrasting. I thought it was kind of a cool bit of information because it's a very contrasting set of statistics for both teams. Again, Cascade in general throughout the season performed a lot stronger than mYinsanity have, so be interesting to see how it continues on and see whether, if you look at the results throughout the season, I would genuinely I can't speak anymore. I would genuinely say that it's probably fair. I'm just making up nonsense. I would genuinely say that Cascade would probably be the favourites. If you based it purely on the statistics from the group stage of the season, I would say that Cascade come into this as the heavy favourites. They were so dominant in all of their matches, and the ones they lost, they only just lost. So yeah, I would say, looking at that, Cascade coming into this definitely the favourites, but mYinsanity, well, they turn up the heat as well. A lot of their matches in this group stage, they play their academy players first, and if things do get a little tight, then they bring out, Kane, Cyril, their Koreans if needed. So, I wouldn't, obviously you've got to look past what the stats say. mYinsanity really do use this league as a bit more of a training facility, giving their academy players a little bit more, exposure, a little bit more experience in the clan wars, and that is why generally their map scores don't look so great. And then sometimes, they do send out a couple of academy players, lose, and then they send out someone else like Cyril, and he loses in a game as well, and then all it takes is it's the best of ones, and sometimes it does happen. So sometimes mYinsanity do lose their matches as well. So in general, my own personal favourites is, the start of this game, not much happening, just some Zergans coming in. My own personal favourites are definitely mYinsanity to take this, I think. I mean, maybe if Cass can go large, maybe he can do this, but I'm expecting Cyril to take down Adominus here at least. I think it might very well come down to, how many players can Cass take down. Because Cass is definitely probably the strongest player on Cascade, so we will see as Zergan going to head away. One of them Zergans got taken down here, third hatchery on the way up for Cyril here on Overgrowth, his choice of map. As again, Don's just going to throw down his Forge nice and quickly in this game, so very similar opening so far as to what we saw on King Sejong Station from him. So let's see what again what the long-term plan is going to be from him this time around. See whether he's going to try and you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, see if he's going to try and change it up, or whether he's just going to again take that fast food base. I mean, even if he takes the fast food base, there's definitely ways in which he can change things up. He can definitely play differently from that. Last game he focused a lot on kind of hitting with a timing attack with that +2 and the blink finishing. This game, for example, he could take that third base just as quickly, and then once he's done that, he could perhaps say, right, well, I'm actually just going to get my Robo down nice and quickly this time, get my Robo Bay up, and stop making Colossi and really macro a bit more instead of relying on so much of a timing from that. So we have the probe already moving in towards the third base to put this down. It's going to be spotted by Cyril immediately here. But nothing he can really do to kind of stop this. Overlord in the main base does good fall. And yeah, he's just going to kind of sit around with his lane, move around. I mean, he's going to start up 10 Zergans to try and maybe cancel something here. But I'd imagine he's not going to be able to achieve too much. 16 Lings on the way. I mean, he does have speed, so maybe he can come in and kill something here or there. But I imagine he's just going to go straight into drones after this. And there's 3 drones actually already in production. And yeah, I imagine just drone is going to be kind of the plan for the rest of this game for him until he's up to that 70-80 worker count, because there's nothing that's going to really be able to hit him before that economy kicks in for him. So here we go with these Zergans. Let's see if he can get the cancel on here. I don't think he will be able to. Sentry's in position. The cannon not quite ready just yet, but again, maybe he can force some force fields, which would be nice as well. And he is just going to latch onto this Nexus. He gets a probe, and you know, gets a little something, not too much, and again, he has a little bit of map control of this as well, so all positives for now. So I'm just going to back off with these and keep them alive for a little while longer in the game. A probe moving forward here is going to drop a couple of gateways, and Dom's just getting set up here, but again, immediately his robot facility is so much earlier than it was in game number 2 of this series. Much earlier here, so definitely imagining we're probably going to see some RoboBay, some Colossi action in the near future. +1 melee starting up on an evolution chamber here for several. So evolution chamber starting that +1 melee right now, as a few overlords come in and grouping up at the front here. Oops. Who is lagging?
Game paused.
So just pause here, just make sure these guys aren't going to get hit by anything too crazy. We don't know who is lagging, so hopefully it's going to be fixed here in a moment or two, and they'll be able to try and see what's up, and hopefully we'll have this all fixed. Dom is saying go, just get ready to click resume, and hopefully this lag will have dissipated without much further to say about it. So +2 blink on the way again. He is actually okay. Well, he's actually in for the warp prism. Wow, I thought this Ruber was earlier than last time, but maybe not. Maybe it was just the exact. I mean, well, right now it's looking as though it is the exact same build. Wow. So Cyril, he's starting up his infestation. He's got 1 more melee upgrades on the way here. So going to be playing with some ultras later in the game, I would imagine. As Dom's getting ready to just go for this attack again. I mean, warp prism on the way out here. No RoboBay at all. I really did think he was going to change things up this time around, but it appears not to be the case now. Although that being said, he's not started moving across the map just yet. Autonomous just sitting here with this army, and Roaches and Lings sitting down to his bottom right side, maybe looking to get a counterattack going. And Autonomous not actually doing anything just yet, still not moving across the map. He's starting up an Immortal already, so maybe he's just a little bit hesitant to go. Maybe he realizes that his opponent has a few more units than his Zervas did last game. Okay, here we go. So now he does go. He's waited until Blink's finished though, so I guess it's a smaller map. It's faster to move across, so there's not as much need to move out as early. Some creep spread going to get cleaned up here, and immediately an attack launched onto this third base by Cyril. So Cyril coming in here, and oh, great little play by Adonis there. Very quickly puts a couple of pylons down, but doesn't actually block these units for all too long. Got an overcharge being used. There's a lot of Roachling going to get into position here to try maybe come in for a bit of a surround. He sees these units coming in, and the sentries have to be very careful, as the first set of force fields do go down here, and the rest of the sentries, well, they're probably going to go down here without much further ado. Perfect set of force fields there, and Don was having to just turn around here, and I mean, he's lost a lot. He's lost all of his sentries. He took a lot of damage on his stalkers as well. And of course, as this game goes on, I mean, Cyril's actually starting up infestors from that infestation pit now. Zergen's still doing damage only over here. 6 workers killed, not too many. But again, it is something to force Adonimus back for. So Adonimus warping in everything, getting set to go here once again, perhaps. Or is he just going to kind of sit back and tech up this time around? He's got a single Immortal on the way. In fact, I'm sure he already made 1 Immortal. Wow, it looks as though he cancelled it though. So 1 Immortal on the way, starts at +3. He's just preparing to go a little bit later in this game. But again, how far can you really go off of just Blink Stalker Immortal? There's that RoboBase. So Colossi will come in here in the near future, but Cyril already with a 4th base up, with Infestors already out, and the Hive now on the way. He's looking to be in a fantastic position already here at the start of this. So few zealots getting warped in, and they're going to get picked up by this warp prism after clearing out this tower. No anti-air on the map just yet, apart from Queen, so Cyril, so obviously he can't just chase down this warp prism. He's just going to have to be aware that it's on the map and respond with units. I mean, he continues to see this here with the creep with overlords, and yeah, I mean, Adonis doesn't really know which, there's no entry path here in which Adonis can't see. I mean, there is infestors which can fungal growth this infested terrain if he wants to, and decides not to, and the zealots actually just going to unload now. And it's going to get away, so yeah, I kind of forgot about the Infestors to be able to do something about that. Fifth base now coming up to the top left-hand side. Dominus keeps this War Prism alive for now, and an Observer coming over to the right will spot this 4th base here. So, I mean, the creep spread's starting to look a little bit insane, as it's definitely well over the halfway point of the map. Creeping down this right-hand side a little bit more than it is the left. Of course, this base will have helped push that forward a little bit here. There's a couple of spines, Spore and a spine coming in, just getting some static defense up in and around his bases here. Hallucinated Phoenix moving forward as well to try and keep a track of the composition of his opponent. We see Ultradisk on the way. And a couple of Vipers added on, so I mean, Serral's really just building up to kind of an a kind of an amazing combination of units at the end of this game. 2-2's about to finish on their melee, and he can start a 3-3 as well. So I mean, again, he's going to have a very high power army, and of course, with Infestors, Fungal Groves to be able to lock down the units of his opponent, Ultras will be able to connect and do some pretty good damage as the Mothership Core going to get taken down by these Infested Terrans and the Queen. But whoa, a little bit too eager with the Infestors. He loses 3 of them there. Lands 1 Fungal Growth, but I mean, the Fungal Growth isn't meant to really do damage now to the shields. You know, that can be regened, as the 4th base for Dominus is going to go down, killed on that. So nice pick off by Serral. You know, them Fungal Growths, they aren't meant to do damage to the shields of Stalkers. They're there for locking down the units so that the Zerglings and the Ultras, which are on the way, can then come in and kind of clean up and actually connect with the army. So killing some Infestors, wasting some Fungals is really, really nice. As this Hallucinated Phoenix coming back across the map, or going across the map I should say, trying again, just keep an eye on what's up. He sees some Vipers now, he warps in some Templar to be able to deal with these. See a Stargate being added on as well, and I wonder if the long-term plan here for Dominus is to try and get in towards Tempest. I mean, it's going to be very tough again, hitting this base, some Zerglings here, and with 2-2, they take it down so quickly. He's just going to keep onto it. He reckons he can kill it off, and he can, and then another kill. Not a cancel, so another 800 minerals gone immediately here, as Dominus asks for another pause. Are we going to have a single game today where we don't have a pause? Oh dear, Dominus's mouse is having issues. We are not recovering. So just waiting for these guys to be ready to go again. So, we're going to try again here and continue on. So, Dominus resumes the game. Again, he's going to have to rebuild this 4th base in a couple of moments. A couple more lings going down here as Zerg players, again, positioned in such a way where he can move in here if you would like. And he's maybe going to try and drop them Fungal Growths right now. Here we go. 1, 2 Fungal Growths. Huge Fungal Growths here coming in. And, well, how much damage can this army do? A lot of the Zerglings in the front seem to be going down. Some feedback's dropping on, I think, Vipers and maybe Infestors as well. And, well, Serral just not really able to do anything at all. And, he's going to start losing the Infestors. And that's the one thing he really needs to keep alive, if anything, here. And, honestly, I just don't really think that was efficient for him at all. And, you know, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But losing the Infestors is really tough. And immediately here, Dominus, I think. No, okay, he's going to fall back, just sit on the 4th base for a little while. Ultra's on the way. Now, again, I mean, Serral, he wanted to trade off the army there, but I cannot possibly imagine him actually wanting to have... I can't imagine that he actually wanted to lose the Infestors. I mean, that was a lot of Infestors. That was like 8 Infestors? 6 Infestors. And I mean, if he already has them up, that's more Ultras he can make, and, you know... But yeah. That's a little bit weird. So... He did keep a few Infestors alive. Okay, I thought he lost all of them. So he kept a few alive. He's going to come forward here with Wave 2 now, and I guess try and strike again before the Protoss army builds up even more. But Dominus' army is getting to a point where it's already very strong. We've got 4 Immortals in here. We've got 3 Archons in here as well. A couple of Colossi. And I can't really imagine attacking in one direction down into this, into cannons as well. It's going to work out. Here we go again. And Blanding Cloud is pretty nice to block some of these units. And it's actually Fungal Growth in there as well. if Abduct as well to take down some of these Colossi, but these Ultras, are they going to be enough? It's actually getting very close on either side. Anonymous loses a lot, but so does Seral. And this is turned away. And yeah, this is turned away well and truly. And he's just going to have to back off. And I mean, Anonymous, he can sit back now and just again fall back towards his 4th base. We've got some roaches coming in over here. They've actually killed off a bunch of workers already. There's I don't think anything's over here. I don't know why his army's over in the natural. But some Stalkers dealing with these roaches right now. So a little bit of economic damage done by Seral, who's maxed out once again. And more Queens being added on this time. Get some Transfusers going for these Ultralisks. A few more Infestors joining the fray. As well as some more Ultras to replace those which have already been lost in battle. And you imagine Seral's just going to keep doing more of the same. Attempts to go towards this 4th base. Warp Prism going to move up to the left hand side of the map. See if he can get anything going up here. So, Anonymous coming up to the left-hand side of the map right now with this Warp Prism. See if he can get some aggression going to kind of deter the attention away from this kind of front line. And here we go. Blinding Clouds are huge, in fact, and look at that. So many units just kind of stuck, not being able to do anything. And these Ultras are just cleaving through the Protoss army. And Anonymous, wow, he just looks as though he's lost everything here all of a sudden. And Seral, I mean, he really just had such an economy which was kind of incomparable with anything Anonymous had. He was able to just trade, not even the best of trades, as you can see. Oh, actually, wow, he's traded really well. Well, I'll take that back. 26 Mutalisks is going to come in on the Remax. I thought Seral was, you know, that first fight definitely wasn't great for Seral, but they were cheap units, I guess. The second fight was pretty good for him. And that third fight, I guess, really nice as well. 30 Mutalisks coming in here just to finish off this game. This main base hatchery is maybe actually going to die. Nelly. Yeah, I mean, the Mutalisks is just going to be the end of this game. There's nothing really here for Anonymous. A few Archons warped in, but they don't have the mobility that the Stalkers have to deal with Mutalisks, and they're all, I mean, these Mutalisks are just going to hit the 3rd base, and at the same time, wouldn't be surprised if Seral launched an attack towards the natural. Mutas are here, and, well, Anonymous is going to have to think of an amazing way to come back from this one, as it looks as though mYinsanity are going to retake their lead in this clan war. Pylon's been targeted down here. Anonymous continuing to lose these, and I'm imagining the base is going to go down in a couple of moments. He's going to try and base trade, starting to move across the map, but Seral, well, he doesn't have that many Ultras, I guess, but he's got enough, and he can afford to lose a couple of bases. He's got time. I guess he actually doesn't have that much at all, kind of as a standing ground army. He's just going to wait a little while, do the damage to the Mutalisks, and then I imagine come back across and just clean up with everything at the same time. Nope, he's just going to go for it now, so with Queens here and transfusing these Ultras, it shouldn't be too much of an issue. The Archon's doing a pretty nice job. Again, 3 more transfusers coming in. In fact, wow, this army for Anonymous is doing a really good job cleaning out a lot of units here. But again, it's just not quite enough. He's just lost a little bit too much previously in this game. The Archon's now out of shields. The Immortals 2 and 1 Immortal, 1 Archon remains, as the Mutas are still just cleaning up everything in the natural expansion of Anonymous here. And he's warping in a couple more units, but that will be it. GG is called, and we have a back and forth series on our hands, guys. It's mYinsanity. They were 1-0 up. Cascade even things out 1-1, but now mYinsanity bring this back 2 games to 1. Again, in this best of 7 all-kill series to determine which of these teams moves through to the semi-finals of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. Seral takes MYI back into the lead here. It'll be interesting to see who Cascade will send out next as their third player. We'll see who their next player will be. Maybe it's time for Cass take down Seral, see what they can do. Maybe Complain in a TVZ could be as well. Complain has some pretty good strats. So let's see, you guys. We'll be back in a few moments' time with Game 4 of this best 7 all-kill series, and hopefully we'll have a game without a single pause. Here's hoping, guys. BRB, don't go far. The game continues in a... His opponent, well, it's none other than our blue Terran player in the lower left-hand corner. From Cascade, it's Cass. Shout out to a couple of guys hitting that follow button on the stream. KJHX618 and Janky. Very, very much, guys, for your support. Again, make sure you do hit that follow button if you're enjoying the show, because there's a lot of awesome StarCraft 2 action on the way in the next couple of weeks here from the SC2 Improve channel. Over this week we do have the SC2 Improve Team League playoffs, and that'll be going on up until Christmas. On the 20th of December we have our SC2 Improve 3rd birthday stream. We're going to have a bunch of matches on there. We're going to have our huge announcement as well in the evening. and there's going to be streams all day long, so it's going to be a lot of fun, so make sure to come along and check that out on the 20th of December. It's a Saturday, so no excuses not to come and check us out all day long then. So guys, how is everybody doing? Hope you're all doing well, hope you're all having fun. We are currently in game number 4 of this best of 7 all kill series. This could potentially be a contender for one of the longest best of 7 series we've had in the SC2 Improved Team League ever at this rate. I mean, Cass with the opportunity to tie things up right now to take us to 2 games apiece, and if he does that, well, who knows how long this series could go on for, especially if we have more technical difficulties from our players. Hello chat room, hello Kinky Mal. Wow, Archon says Animalist from the end of that last game. I mean, to be fair, yes, the Archons are pretty strong, but you've got to also think, like, there wasn't really that much for the Zerg. He had, like, 3 Ultras and then Queens, which isn't really that much DPS at all. So yeah, it was kind of a... There wasn't really much there for the Zerg at all, because he had, like, 30 Mutalisks, remember, on the other side of the map. That's a lot of supply. So, Archons are good, though. We can't really deny that, but... You know, it was a bit deceiving. You know, if Archons aren't going to be that good in every single game ever. So, Command Center first year for Cass on Nimbus, and obviously planning. You know, it was his map pick, so you could choose out of, I think, this. Deadwing is still available, Foxtrot Labs, and Catalina. He's choosing to play on Nimbus, looking for a larger map for a longer game, I would imagine. These guys, they've played a lot in the past. I remember when they played. I think I casted mYinsanity versus Cascade in the Cascade Clan League, and in the Cascade Clan League it was a lot of fun. It was Cass and Sorrel. I think they played 2 times because they had a revive, or maybe 3 times because both teams had a revive, and there were some really, really good games. So, Cass, go Cass! Assist Graham's the forgotten the one in the chat. How is everyone else doing? Who is everyone else supporting here, guys? Do let us know. There's a factory on the way down here for our Terran player. Reactor comes in as well for Cass. And again, no units just yet because, plain and simple, this is a nice greedy build from him. Just a single Marine, and that will be it from this command center opening. Third command center coming down here nice and quickly. Speed already on the way for him, over halfway done. And no rush towards his third base despite having taken the lower hatchery earlier on. This does help him with his creep spread though, and helps him push across the map a little bit sooner with that creep, so it's a nice thing to do in the long run. It's not necessarily that much harder to defend than your natural, as he takes this base anyways. So I'll drop in this hatchery, and a couple of Zerglings are starting to spread out a little bit to try and see if anything comes across the map. First 2 Hellions are on the way out right now, and again, Kaz just setting up onto this very nice economy he's going to have due to this free command center build. A couple of engineering bays being added on as well, so really Cass taking this to kind of the maximum level of greed. It doesn't get much greedier than this, apart from maybe going 4 command centers first, which is just of course unheard of. So moving out now with these 2 Hellions, and yeah, moving out and gonna do a little bit of scouting. A couple more Hellions on the way to join these first 2. As he's going to try and run in towards this base, and there's a couple of Queens here. He shouldn't lose too much. There's a single drone dead, and there should be a couple more going down now in a couple of moments. Oh, there we go. And 3 workers killed in total so far, and there's number 4 and 5. That's actually a pretty good deal for 2 Hellions, 5 workers, not so bad. And of course, Cass has more Hellions on the way to kind of resupply from those ones which have been lost, as this factory is going to move across. A couple of barracks going to drop now onto into this main base. Factory lands, and a couple more barracks being added on as well. No starport just yet, as he adds on a reactor here. But Cyril getting a perfect scout. He's going to see absolutely everything there is to see, but it's a little bit too late to really respond with any kind of all-in or anything like that. For now, his Bane and Nest is on the way, and there's a double evolution chamber as well. I imagine his lair is going to be started up soon as he's getting his extra gases. I imagine we're just going to see a pretty standard game out of him, unless there's a possibility. I mean, he could go Roach Hydra or something crazy like that still. But I'm not really imagining that right now. I mean, there's a possibility of it, but it's not. It's definitely not a. You know, it'd be one of them really weird things, right, where he just says, right, okay, cancel the Bane Nest, start missile attacks, throw down a Roach Roaring. It'd be very surprising, but there we go. Melee upgrades on the way, and we are just going to see the good old standard 1-1 coming in here for Cyril as he starts up his lair as well. And Overlord's coming in too, and And yes, some creep tumors continues to be spread. I mean, look at this. The creep is looking awesome for 9 minutes into the game, almost reaching this kind of halfway point between his and Cass's base. And this is all because of the way he could kind of jump start. You know, he didn't have to expand down to here. He was already at this point here when he started spreading his creep, so that really did help. As Cass going to land his third base nice and early on. Not much of a problem to manage to do that. And so many Marines being made right now. Starport is on the way. Reactor's just a little bit behind, so I mean, we're going to be seeing a push out just after 1-1 is finished, I imagine, with this, with these medevacs. Look to try and push back a lot of this creep, kill off a lot of these tumors, and really get a little bit map control away from the Zerg player. And again, you know, it's generally at that kind of point in time where he's going to have just about enough where he can pick up, lift, where he can lift up and get out. If anything becomes a little bit too troublesome for him. Aren't we going to finish up pretty much bang on time as well? And Cass going to be able to go straight into a third hatchery without too much of an issue. Straight into his 2-2 third hatchery. Since when do Terran players build third hatcheries? I don't even know where that came from. He can go straight into 2-2 without any issue here. Combat shield's over halfway done, and then first 2 medevacs on the way. And again, I would imagine he's going to move out here again. You know, even if you can just push back some of this creep, that's a victory for him at this kind of point. Especially now, it's really starting to get a little bit serious. He's actually going to lift up into dropships. Wow. Okay, so instead of pushing creep, he's actually just going to try and drop and do some damage here. But look at that. Serral is so prepared. He's got Banelings already in his natural mineral line. Sees it coming across with a Zerglin as well. And it's going to be a perfect defense from him. Lifts up, no real issue. Drops down and trying to just force the Banelings to trade a little bit inefficiently here. Cass not able to really do all too much. He starts to drop off again now. And these Banelings aren't actually going to do too much. They get a few kills. But that's about it as Zerglin's starting to come in here. And well, these Marines are actually doing a lot of damage. This Marauder in the mineral line may very well go down. There's 3 workers killed off, 4 workers killed off, and Cass has a little bit of room to spare. Lifts up and gets out of there for now. Spire about to finish up here, so we're about to see these Mutalisks come onto the map, stop the mobility of these medevacs a little bit. Cass about 100 seconds ahead on them upgrades, so he can build up towards a very strong 2-2 timing. Now, even before that, starting to push across the map now. With his first couple of Hellbats, he is actually going mines primarily here. These are just from the first Hellions that were in the game, and first scan cleaning up a lot of this creep, and again, important to push that back so they can have some mobility for himself on the map and take some fights without kind of being under the constant, you know, eye of his opponent. So again, he should have more or less enough medevacs to kind of just lift up and get out here if necessary. A couple more scan, one more scan coming in to clean out the 2 active creep tumors. And the first mutant is starting to come onto the map. He has a few Banelings being added on. 2-2 not quite ready yet for Cass, so he wants to be careful. He does actually lift up a couple of medevacs. He's going to start dropping here again. And this time there's actually no kind of prepared, you know, preset defense from Sarah. But look at that again. Immediately, a few Zerglings already on the way. I don't even know what he sees this with. I think it's just kind of his sense that, you know, hey, I kind of need to get some units out again here as fast as possible. And, well, these Mutalisks going to be able to... well, gonna get turned around here. As Cass actually just swimming straight in towards this 4th base. He might just try and target this down, but here come the Banelings here. Ah!
Game paused.
That was a pretty big spike. And not really the best time to pause. Oh, what is happening, guys? Because it's paused here. There was, I think, I felt as though there was a spike of lag just before the pause came in, but this is not looking good. I mean, he might be able to pick up with a lot of it, but he won't get away with all of it. Definitely not. No real sign from Cass as to what's going on right now. As this group of units down here, just sitting strong. Mine mixed in here as well, which is quite interesting. Could come back in towards the main base now. I mean, if you can just drop a few units off before the Zerglings wrap around, you will be able to kind of get something done with this. So where's the closest Baneling? Pretty darn close. I mean, he's already got the army selected, so as soon as we come out of the pause, he's going to be able to just go boo, boo. It's kind of like how fast can he click? I mean, he's already got it selected, so all he has to do is boost away, right? He might be okay then. So yeah, no one's saying anything for whatever reason, which is intriguing. Oh my god. Again, will we have a game today without the pauses? That is the question. Cast is just awesome, says Guy Tucker in the chat. I've forgotten the one. Continue to enjoy the Cass games. Roguff and Sloth also cheering on Cass here as our pause continues. Apparently it's funny. Like 10 seconds, we've been paused for like a minute and a half. Okay, so he kind of manages to pick up here and escape, and kind of. I mean, there's these mutas continuing to chase. He does have this drop down to the bottom side. I mean, he's kind of gone out. The main thing is kind of the medevacs. He needs to get them away, and he will be able to boost. So he lost a bit here, but nothing too devastating actually in the end. These medevacs are going to continue to be chased. So it's been quite a bad loss for Cass, but nothing too game ending. As still, I mean, he's still got these units down here, which is intriguing. The whole army here already actually for our Zerg player, and now these medevacs are going to have to escape as well. As maybe just drop it off and start cleaning up some creep. And that will be the plan, as a few Zerglings coming forward, a few more Banes being morphed in, the rest of the army coming forward right now for Cass, and it looks as though he may be getting ready to take a fight. But for now, actually just backing off here. So it might actually be Saral who actually forces a fight here, as Cass is a little bit slow to react, and now he's staying as he's losing his medevacs already though. And whoa, Saral is starting to lose a few Mulisks as well. Cass getting his reinforcements in here, so Cass coming forward, and a Marine taking the tower, and Cass going to try and come around the top side now, and again push in towards this fourth base, which he got oh so low before. Imagine a couple of dropships, you know, he sent a couple of dropships down here when he already had dropship here. Imagine he sent them around the top and maybe try to drop this fourth base while Saral was focused down in the middle. We've got a couple of Zerglings coming in fighting these units on the Planetary Fortress here. Cass taking his time about this, and again we see a stim, and the Baners again so close here, and Cass kind of splitting very, very late. And Saral will continue to march forward. Is there going to be enough Marines here for Cass? I don't think so. Just enough actually to hold on and continue to push through. This Zergling's cleaned up by the Planetary Fortress, and well, Cass not quite enough to keep pushing forward, however, from this point. And again, his splits were just a little bit off there, and maybe the splits, if they were a little bit better, he could have actually won that fight and pushed through. Supplies still even as he begins to burrow mine again and move forward. Behind all of this, a Hive is on the way for Saral, and +3 already on the way for Cass. So trying to give himself the upgrade advantage in the long run, as not a single mine going off just yet. And maybe one of them will die. Okay, one of them goes down because of a Baneland hit. And Cass continues to push upwards in towards this ramp. A lot of Banelings still morphing in here, and a lot of mines available to go off. How good are these mine hits going to be? Mines kind of killing off a lot of stuff here. A lot of mutas taking damage as well, as Marines continue to stream in. And oh my god, I think Saral might lose every single mutalisk right now. 3 mutas get out. But that is going to be it, as some more Banelings come in. Cass pulls the Marines backwards here, the 4 here as well. And Saral's going to type GG, and we have one hell of a series on our hands, guys. As Cass, despite the very untimely pause, is just about going to find his victory here to even up this series 2 games apiece. And, well, 2 games apiece. It's all evened up 2-2 our scoreline, guys. And, mYinsanity and Cascade, they are going at each other's throats right now. Who's mYinsanity going to send out next? I'm not too sure. They've got to take down Cass. They've got to take down Cass because the winner of this next map goes on to match point. It's a really important map for both of these guys, for both of these teams, because to go on to match point, one slip up then and boom, you're away, you're gone. It's single elimination. This is how brutal the bracket is. You lose one match in the playoffs and you're gone, and that's not nice. So Cascade with the opportunity to move through to the semi-finals here, and so mYinsanity. Both teams are in a great position, but having taken down Cyril and keeping mYinsanity off of match point, things are looking pretty great for them. Guys, we're going to be back in a few moments' time. If you're enjoying the show, make sure you hit that follow button. Shout out to a few more guys who have been doing that. Cadus TV and Rain of Grave, thank you guys for hitting that follow button. If you really are enjoying the show and you want to help us support more events in the future, you can of course donate, and you can subscribe to the channel as well. All of the money we get through Twitch and through donations goes straight back into funding more tournaments. We make absolutely zero profit on this, as you guys will see when we announce the next season of the SC2 Improved Team League. Guys, we'll be back in a few moments' time with game number 5 of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3 quarter-final match between Cascade and mYinsanity. Don't go far, because this is really starting to get a little bit dangerous. I'm going to show you guys what is up, what's happening, and who these guys are. In the upper left-hand corner, well, you should know who he is. He is our Blue Terran player from Cascade. It's Cass. Taking down Seralda in game number 4 to put his team at level pegging again. We are now over the 2-hour mark, and again, if this goes to game 7, we could be in for a long while. We could still be in for quite some time. So yeah, Cass here in the upper left-hand corner. His opponent this time another Zerg player from mYinsanity. It's Reno in the red in the lower right. So Reno versus Cass on dead ring cross positions. Can he do what Seral could not here in this game? That will be the question on everybody's minds right now. Can he do this? Can he find a way? Or not? Dun dun dun. Okay, so Hatchery first coming in here, not much of a surprise about this at the start. We could even see a through hatch before pool. Again, a nice large map here in Deadwing. We'll see. It looks as though he's not sending drone out. It looks as though it will just be pool coming up in the next few moments here from Raynor. As he's gonna drop that. So pool on the way down, and yeah, Overlord starting to head across the map here from Raynor. So Overlord coming across the map. You see that first Reaper on the way. So Cass not going for command center first twice in a row, and yeah, Cass is going to be going in here with a Reaper. Starting to move across the map. Looks as though it's going to be a single Reaper again. That barracks positioning, same way we saw Strelok position it earlier, in such a way to build the reactor nice and quickly afterwards. And there it is, reactor on the way down. Command center on the low ground. Now Reaper heading southwards first. And yeah, we'll be coming down to the bottom right afterwards. So yeah. Straight back down to the bottom left. He's going to come across to the bottom right now after seeing his opponent is not in that location, and very quick to do so. We'll be able to get in here. Now, one of the most important things again, which you can spot, is perhaps in the main base. You can see how much gas his opponent has mined. Well, just to see that his opponent has mined gas at all. Reno mines 100 and then pulls out, and that's not too interested in moving too much further forward. He actually sees an opportunity to maybe pick up a drone or so, and oh, he's actually going to grab it. So he grabs a drone kill. That's a really nice start from him here. So, Cass continuing to get a lot of cheers from the crowd. Reno has this from Rookie Mitch as well. So a lot of cheers coming in here, there and everywhere for these guys. As these four Zerglings going to try and chase this Reaper. Cass paying too much attention though, and now these Zerglings are kind of forfeit to die. So a little bit of a stress there, by a little bit of a overcommitment there by Reno, I guess the correct word to use. Forced back here, and he uses actually only one Zergling in here in the end. Okay, two Zerglings, and then has to turn away. Of course, he lost that drone earlier as well. So So yeah, Reaper gonna sit on top of this position where the third hatchery would be taken. So we see a few more lings on the way out, and speed about to kick in here. So Reno potentially going to be able to move across the map and do a little something. I mean, this Reaper is actually not going to spot these. As this hatchery, well, this poor drone is going to realise that, hey, I can't actually sit here. A couple of lings going to have to be turned around to deal with this, and going to be using 4 of these now. As Reno gets that speed, and again, what's he going to try and aim to do here with these Zerglings? The Reaper getting chased away by these Zerglings that were left behind. Hatchery does come down. So Renault coming up to this top side now. He knows this. He knows the time player isn't here, but maybe he's going to try and break through into the natural, through the rocks or something. Just keeping these Zerglings up here a little bit hidden right now. A little bit interesting. So we'll see what he wants to do with these as the Hellions and actually Marines coming out. Take down an Overlord. These Hellions are going to be able to move across the map. And with Armory on the way up here, Cass looking as though he's going to completely, well, he is completely changing up his style of play. Third command center comes down now, so a little bit later than usual, and that's because he is putting down this army. He's got a starport out as well. And has he got a medevac? Yes, he does. So one very strong attack coming in across the map for Cass, but here we go, run by from Reno, and oh no, the depots are down, and here we go. Cass is going to be forced to cancel his third command center, or at least have that delayed, as Zerglings are going to start working away on SCVs as well, and Cass was not prepared for this, and he is taking a lot of damage, and everything has to turn back. Cass is coming home. And oh no, this gives Reno so much time. Third command center cancelled as well. 9 workers dead. And now, I mean, he's going to just build the third command center in position. But a couple more SCVs may yet still be to go down. There's 10, and here is maybe number 11. Just. So 11 workers. A huge play by Reno, because not only does he kill a lot, do a lot of damage, he forces Cass all the way back home. And, well, Cass is not in as good of a position as he was a few moments ago, put it that way. Now, Reno did throw away a lot of lings to do this, so is he going to have enough to actually hold on this attack still? Hellbats are here, as, oh wow, he's actually got the Zerglings across the map again, so he's going to force another cancel on the third base. And, well, Cass really does have to do some major damage right now, which I definitely think he can do, because there's nothing really here for Reno to defend. So, both these guys cancel again on the third. A couple of Marines in position to trying to start deflecting these Zerglings. As Cass is going to start killing off this third base, and 22 lings on the way won't be enough to deal with these Hellbats. As oh, he's just gonna, he's just gonna be able to break through here, so close. And some more Marines on the way out here. SCV's being pulled, and more work is going to go down. But on Steve's side of the map, I mean, Cass is doing some major damage as well. But there's so many Zerglings out now from Reno. And Cass, he's lost another 11 workers, and again his third command center is going to be cancelled for the 3rd time in this game. Reno gets the kill this time, as Cass is busy over here trying to see what he can get done with these Hellbats and Marines, and honestly he's actually doing quite a lot right now. This Spine Crawler may make the difference. There's still Hellbats alive, as the Queens are here. He needs to transfuse and everything. Oh my god, well, this game just seems to keep on getting crazier, as Cass has finally got some Marines out, so he should finally be able to deal with these Zerglings. 23 SCVs, 23 SCVs against 35 drones, as Cass has finally turned away 2 bases apiece. Third command center will be rebuilt here in a moment or so, I would imagine. And, well, that's what you get from not having a bunker in your wall, I guess, is the moral of this story. So, Cass gonna head back home this game, gonna stabilize a little bit, and I mean, apart from the lack of a third command center, we're in a pretty standard position, and Cass yet to kind of restart this. I mean, there's the third hatchery coming down here. I guess he's gonna build it in position. He's got a lot of Marines now, and if he's just focused back at home, he should be able to secure a third command center without too much of an issue. It looks as though he's starting to move out now, so that may very well be what he's trying to do. He could move across the map and just go for kind of 1-1 timing with these medevacs. Again, Zergling's running up here, but getting turned away nice and quickly. And will Cass move across the map? That's the main question for me right now. He starts the third command center behind the wall, so that says to me, yes, he will move across the map, because otherwise, why would he not just start in a position where he can stand and just defend it? So, Cass coming forward here, and let's see what he can get done. Some Zerglings coming in, a couple of Marines behind the wall. They do have stim now, so these Zerglings not going to be able to achieve too much anymore. As Cass continues to move forward, this third base has been re-established. There's only a few roaches here. Some Banelands morphing in. Some Banelands morphing in here as well. So Reno really kind of focusing on actually trying to keep on doing damage. But I don't think he's going to be that successful. I mean, once these Banelands bust through, there's only going to be a couple of Zerglings to really do any damage. Cass moves up to the high ground now and towards this third base once again. And he just lifts up and gets out of there. Heads towards the main. And that's quite nice as, well, goodbye supply depots. But again, what's the follow-up now? There's only 3 Zerglings here, so he's not really achieved anything. As Cass actually going to come back in towards the third base and going to be able to kill off the Screep Tumor, sorry, the Spinecrawler at least, as he picks up once again, gets away with the majority of his units, and the Baneland's not trading so well here. Cass going to re-drop, feeling as though he can keep on doing damage, and this third base may very well be in trouble as one Baneland hit goes off, but again, not quite enough, and Raynor struggling to deal with this 1-1 Terran army, which is at his front doorstep. And again, he really does not want to lose that third base. So Cass, he's recovered from this really weird position which we started this game out in. Third command center is now on the way. He's added on tanks even. Feeling as though a follow-up all-in may be the case, especially if, you know, he's seen roaches, he's seen Banelands. He doesn't know what exactly his opponent's going for. He doesn't know it's just going to be Ling Bling Meter. So I feel investing in the tanks early on here is not too bad of a decision. Reno will hold on. His own 1-1 about to finish now. And, I mean, Cass still yet to land that third base, but Reno's only just started mining from his own third, so we're in a very kind of, again, we're at a point in the game where both of these guys aren't really at the kind of times we would expect, and these tanks are actually going to work out really well here on Deadwing, because they're going to be able to siege on the low ground and fire onto the third base, and Reno's going to have no real option other than to come in and fight this. Mutalisk's on the way, so they're going to come out just about in time to deal with this, but he doesn't have gas to actually start 2-2, so this is going to be tough now as these drones starting to take some damage here. Reno's starting to pull this back. Spore Claw taking a lot of damage, and this will go down in a couple of moments. So there it goes, a couple of Banelands hitting against that Hellbat. And the Stem coming forward here. Extractor going down, and Marines starting to come forward as well. Roaches trying to do whatever they can do. Banelands coming in, but they just get cleaned up so easily by the tanks, and Cass looks as though he might very well have a good opportunity to just close out this game right now. Another Queen goes down, and well, Hatchery here is probably going to fall as well, but we have Mutalisks which have been cleaned up. Well, Cass lifts up, he takes a little bit of damage on the low ground, but that's about it, and this third Hatchery will fall, and it looks as though Cass is going to take Cascade onto match point here. We just continue to try and do something over here. Another Mutalisk goes down. And you will turn around, and well, these Marines are going to be able to clean out these Banelings. And well, actually, Reynolds may just about be able to clean this up, but again, the damage is done. The third hatchery is dead. He's behind on workers, and of course, there's triple mule as well. Another tank can actually be targeted down. But again, that's not much of a loss here for Cass, as he's just going to come across the map with his reinforcements. This game looked very scary for him for a few moments, especially when he was letting these run-bys in. He was taking a lot of damage, he was losing workers, but his army across the other side of the map was just enough to be able to turn it around, and he just about managed to do enough. Burrow on the way in for Reno, and I feel as though he's kind of thinking, well, I need something amazing now to kind of bring me back in this game. I need some amazing Burrow Baneling hits, but I don't think Burrow's even going to finish before this army of Cass is at his front doorstep once again. The tank sieging up on the edge of the creep. And, well, some meters again coming in towards the natural, but reinforcements more than enough to deal with this. And Scan comes down, creep going to start being killed off, and I mean, Cass begins to move up this ramp. Of course, he can fall back in towards his tank line if he needs to, and that's exactly what he's going to do. As his units begin to come in, he splits, and a couple of bales get picked off, not too many. Fourth base is going to be spotted very swiftly. And also very swiftly disposed of here as Reynolds is going to come in. He's just going to try and fight this, and he gets some okay connections to the right, but to the left there's just not going to be enough, and there's enough Marines left over to just keep on pushing forward here. Cass is going to take the GG out of Reynolds, and he's going to put Cascade onto match point. 3 games to 2 right now. 3 games to 2, mYinsanity lead, and well, 3 games to 2, they lead. No, not mYinsanity lead. What the hell am I talking about? 3 games to 2 Cascade lead. Let me fix that on the screen. 3 games to 2 Cascade lead, and they are up now and on match point. So mYinsanity have one last player, And it's going to be narcotic. Guys, we're going to hit a very swift break. When we come back, game number 6. As mYinsanity try and claw their way back into the Cass. His opponent down in the bottom left hand corner. The final play for mYinsanity. It's narcotic. Red Terran player here. The final hope for mYinsanity as he heads in towards a TVT to try and finish. Try and bring his team to an ace match. So let's see what he can do here today. As we wait to get set up into this, a couple of depots on the way down for both players right now. TVT, not the mirror matchup I was expecting to see today, but yeah, not the mirror matchup I was expecting to see today by any stretch of the imagination. Barracks on the way in here for narcotic, and the gas first for Cass shows us already the kind of different ways in which you can open in this matchup. Generally we don't see very many or any gasless expands at all, but gas openings generally do dominate. But gas first, 13 gas, 15 gas, there's a lot of different times at which you can take a gas, and a lot of them lead into very different things. So it's quite fun. It's quite cool to see, quite fun to watch. So still okay, there is a gas now coming in for narcotic on 15, and he's going to start his orbital command here in a few moments time. So orbital command on the way in, and marine on the way out of this barracks, and yeah, factory coming down here for Cass, as we would expect from the command center, from the gas first. So factory coming in nice and quickly from him, and we'll see what he can try and achieve with this. I mean, obviously aggression. The question is, will he take a second gas? Will he not? You know, it kind of gives us a bit more of an idea about what exactly he might want to try and do. Not quite, because he took a much later gas. We're probably going to see him expand here very soon. If a reactor coming down, and his factory to be added on a little bit later. But you'll have a lot of minerals so that he can put down his expansion a little bit earlier on. Now, I'm not too sure how much I like these depots, because while it's nice to have the vision, they don't really need to be right at the edge. Because if Cass has a bigger army on the low ground, he's still going to be able to pick this off, and this one too. So I'd kind of like to see him not quite put them like kind of here, because you still get the vision here, or put it here, because then you still get the vision down here as well. So in fact, I think this is I don't know. I guess he probably wants to put one depot up here as well to get a bit of vision up there in case of any drops coming in. So yeah, let's see what's going to happen. As wait to see how this is going to go. We did see a second gas actually added on for Cass, so Starport's going to land on this tech lab, and we're going to see some Cloak Banshee play coming out of our Terran player here, without too much further to say. So Cloak Banshee play on the way from Cass, and Narcotic still just making Marines right now. He's got his own factory on the way, but no signs of any kind of detection just yet. So an engineering bay, Starport would go and be nice as well. Just a single gas, so not looking as though he's going to attack too much. He's actually going to go into Hellion production here, so well, this could get a little bit tough for Narcotic. There's a Starport though, right? Yes, there is. So Viking can come up, and he should be able to deflect this. It shouldn't be too bad. It depends. Cass isn't actually added on cloaks, so that's quite interesting. Wow. I wonder what he's going to go to. Maybe he wants to play mech. Maybe he's going to make some Hellions here, unless he's going to make more Marines. Unless he's going to swap this and put this onto there, and then make tanks. He is, right? He's going to make one Banshee, then go into tank Viking Marine production. Okay, wow. So Cass is going to commit very heavily to, a very defensive opening, I guess. It can be aggressive as well, though. With the earlier tanks, you can move across the map quite nicely and, get some stuff done. A scan comes down here and reveals, right, tanks are on the way, reactive Marines. And they should say to Narcotic, right, I really need to make sure I get my own tanks started as soon as possible, because the last thing you want to do is end up in a scenario where you have to basically say, crap. The last thing you want to do is end up in a position where you're like, oh, god damn it. I have to, I'm being contained because he made tanks just earlier than me. It's not because I played badly, he just had tanks faster, and there wasn't a way I could fight into his army. So that's the last thing Narcotic really wants, and I would imagine he's going to start tank production now after these extra Hellions are finished. But no, he actually keeps on going with the Hellions. I mean, Hellions are kind of okay as well, I guess. I mean, they can actually clean up armies moving across the map quite nicely. They're still not great against tanks, but they will clean up a lot of the Marines. And if they can clean up a lot of the Marines, then there's only a couple of tanks left. Any push from Cass will be shut down quite quickly. Narcotic with a couple of worker lead right now, of course, because he had this faster command center, but Cass not too far behind his own command center, morphing into an orbital right now. And there's all this Banshee coming back across here for Cass. So not losing this, no kills on it, just keep it alive, maybe find an opportunity to use this later in the game. As the Hellions begin to come across here for Narcotic, so what kind of damage can he get done with these Hellions which begin to move across the map? I imagine not too much, because by the time he runs up a ramp, he's going to be shelled to pieces by a tank, and yeah, I don't imagine him really doing too much here. He goes up the ramp for a moment, he loses one Hellion. Now you can turn around and maybe try and get a shot off on these Marines, which is what I think he's trying to do. But he's just continuing to lose the Hellions one at a time here, so not really trading so well here to begin with. Cass across the map now. He's got air dominance and he's got tanks, and again, that's kind of something which makes it very hard to break out of the contain of. A couple of Vikings here for Narcotics, so I guess okay, the air kind of scenario is kind of okay as well. We're going to see every single, well, all the SCVs go down here on the natural. The Hellion run by going to actually do a little bit of damage. This actually means Cass really needs to get some damage done now, as third Viking comes in, so he's actually going to have the air dominance. Cloak, she's on the way for Narcotic, but I don't think they're going to be here in time to really help out. That cloak upgrade's a long way away, as these Hellions are cleaning up. 7 workers killed so far, but already SCV's being pulled to try and deal with this army of his opponent. I think Hellions need to kind of get onto the Marines a little bit faster, as wow, Cass is actually going to land his Vikings as well. The tank goes down, but there's Marines and Vikings left over, and Narcotic doesn't really have anything left. A Banshee comes in, and maybe if he can pick off the Vikings, but if not, what? I mean, surely there's no actual way that he's going to pull this Banshee back. There's a cloak upgrade still coming in here, as a mine is maybe just not going to get killed off here. Viking lands as well to clear up these Hellions on the counter attack. The mine gets a hit off there as well. As Narcotic has to lift, he has to back off right now, and well, Cass going to be able to take down the depot here, and Narcotic is still kind of sort of holding on. He's got Cloak Banshee now, and maybe just a little bit too late. He still doesn't have really any anti-air to deal with the Viking of Cass. Worker count is surprisingly even, 30 to 29, 31 to 30. Cass with an ever so slight lead here. Stimpack on the way for him. He's going into bio. He's got the rest of his production up, and well, there's a second factory here for Narcotic, but that's about it. And as he still kind of waits for anti-air, he actually can't do anything because of the anti-air, because of the Viking here. Wow. I mean, Cass has a Viking over here, and by the time this Banshee actually gets across, it's not really going to have much energy left, so it shouldn't be able to cause too much trouble. So it's on the way in both the main and natural mineral line. And yeah, Hellions coming across the map. So, Narcotic coming in here, and Banshee has picked up a couple of kills, 4 workers and now a Marine as well before it gets shot down. 7 workers as well as actually Narcotic comes into the natural. He's doing quite a lot of damage here. Another 11 workers killed, now 12. He's actually going to take a really nice supply lead, worker lead from this, as this mine goes off and hits quite nicely on these Hellions. And they're going to try and escape around the back, and they might, if they kept going, they may have been able to pick off some of the more damaged SCVs. Narcotic taking a 9 worker lead, and that's really impressive considering right now he's heading into a mech play. He's going to have an economy lead, and when he's playing mech, and that's really nice for him. He should be very much so set up already defensively, as now he's actually going to chase with his Cloak Banshee, and Cass has just dropped his mules, so he's going to get a lot of free damage done with this Cloak Shoe right now, and he's going to keep on chasing. He's about to take down another Marauder, and I mean, the more he can take down, I mean, I actually don't see any way in which Cass can actually do any damage here. Maybe dropping into the main base is one way he could do something. And as this Viking continues to take some damage, now the Marine as well. And he's just going to come up here, and he's just going to be greeted by Hellions. He stims up, but again, the tank as well. And it's going to be too much, and these 2 Cloak Banshees did a lot of damage here. Hellions coming up to the high ground to help out against the tank, but against the drop. Help the tank against the drop. But that's about it now. These Marine Medevacs going to turn around. And Cass with a 3rd command center on the way, but so is Narcotic. So both these guys continue on, and Narcotic does have the early game lead, but it's far from over right now. in this game. Maybe now it's Narcotic's turn to actually move across the map. I mean, I guess he's scared of drops. He's got a lot of Hellions. He could do a lot of damage if he was over here right now. I mean, there's nothing to really stop him doing it, apart from the fear of being dropped, so... I guess that's kind of the shame about not having his production up earlier, so you'd have a few more units so you could leave a couple at home. Coming across here, and Cass, 2 medevacs ready to go in towards this main base. Turret's starting to be set up though, and Narcotic getting into a nice defensive position for the rest of the game. Worker count still at a 7 advantage for our mYinsanity player, as these 2 medevacs are going to come around the right hand side, as these 2 banshees are heading across the map to try and get something done. And well, Cass building up Vikings coming in here now with these medevacs, but it was spotted by the barracks, so these medevacs are gonna have to turn away and just settle with the fact that they're gonna achieve the fact that nothing else is, achieve the fact that I don't actually know what I'm trying to say. What did they achieve? Absolutely nothing, really. Yeah. Banshee over here, not yet really being utilised for anything. 4 Vikings out for Cass. He's reactoring these out 2 at a time. Playing kind of without any further medevacs. Just going to try and take air control. Of course, if he has air control, he can try dropping on top of any heavy tank count. So, Command Center lands and another scan coming down. Cass's army being revealed here. And there's 4 medevacs still flying around, trying to find ways to get in here, do some damage, but even the natural is pretty well it's pretty well set up with turrets, although maybe if he comes right along the bottom, he can find a way, and coming through the middle of the map with some units, the Banshee getting scanned, getting picked off here, another Banshee moving forward already, as well, no, this is terrible for Narcotic. He's been, his army is out of position here, and the medevacs have found a way in towards the main base, and at the same time Cass should be moving towards this orbital command center where there's only a single tank to defend, and this is not looking good at all now for Narcotic, as he's going to lose these couple of... Well, okay, I mean the tank's actually going to do an okay amount of damage. He's got a tank on the high ground too, so he's actually going to deflect this fairly alright then. Not too much damage done. 5 workers killed here by Cass doing this, 6 workers killed. He actually takes now a 5 worker lead because of this, and well, he's finding a way to keep on in this game, as both players kind of stalling on upgrades. No upgrades at all for Narcotic. Does he have an armory? Surely he has an armory to make Hellbats, right? Yeah, he does. So, no upgrades at all from him. A little bit of a mistake, I suppose. A little bit of a... oh, Hellions coming in once again, and, well, some more worker damage being done here. They're going to turn around nice and quickly, though, and being caught by the concussive shells there. 2 of them... 3 of them? Oh, okay, all of them are going to go down. So, all of the Hellions getting cleaned up here with, not too much of an issue. As another siege tank sieges up. Cass with this air dominance here is going to take down all of these air units without too much of an issue. PDD goes down, but too little too late, as the Raven also going to fall. And Cass... I mean, he doesn't really have the possibility to drop on top of this because there's going to be more than enough Hellbats. But he does load up a lot of these units into medevacs, and we'll try and maybe doom drop again in towards this main base. So, is he actually just going to try and drop on top of this? It looks like he will. The Hellions a bit out of position here. Cass is just going to come in and try and drop, and you kind of realize that this isn't such a great idea at all in the end, as he lifts up and just decides to kind of get away. Still with air dominance here, a couple more medevacs lifting up units, and going to head towards the natural. So, a couple of medevacs units heading towards the natural now, which still, I mean, this entry into towards the main base is still something which Narcotic hasn't responded to from earlier in the game. Medevacs also looking to come around the top side and towards the main base, so we're going to be seeing drops going off here, there, and everywhere right now. And Narcotic going to have to try and deflect this as, well, again, a couple of turrets here. They should have spotted that big load of medevacs coming forward, and now they're going to stop using forward. But already we see Hellions coming into position, and again, these few units in the main, coming in towards the main from the bottom side, not going to be able to do all too much. And if I cast a little bit of a mistake here, going to fly straight through these turrets, losing 2 medevacs of units. Cass going to unload. And I mean, behind all of this, he has managed to set himself up a 4th base. So 4th base up here for Cass. And, you know, just continuing to push the fact that he has mobility, he has map control. Narcotic and Sieges though, and maybe he wants to try and move across the map. If he can take a fight, if he can force Cass to fight, that would be great for him, but I don't know if that's going to be a possibility. He scans, he sees that 4th base, and Cass coming over to the left hand side, and SCV spots this. So he sees this army coming across, and where does he take his own army? Just going to reposition it here on his 3rd single marine on the high ground here, and that will see that army moving across if he does move across with it. And Cass still just kind of sitting tight. Hellions cleaning out a marine here, and scans on the army, sees that the army's still there. And both of these guys trying to outmaneuver each other right now. And it looks as though Narcotic's going to find an opportunity to move across the map. And are we just going to see a bit of a base trade now? Well, Cass has actually been making battle cruisers, so this could be very interesting because Cass has a lot of air control. There's a few 4s in here, and he's going to come in right now towards this 3rd base. He scans, he sees nothing is here, and it's time to stem and go, and time to kill this 3rd base, I imagine. These 2 tanks are actually going to do a lot if the arenas remain clumped up here at the front. At the same time, though, here we go. Everything else is coming forward, but these 2 battle cruisers are just going to be so important in terms of being able to defend everything. Narcotic might want to drop some mules just to try and repair his 4s up. If he can repair the 4s and get rid of these battle cruisers, it might be okay, but otherwise, he's in a lot of trouble because Cass is continuing to move forward here, and, you know, he's going to kill off everything, whereas eventually, Narcotic just GG's out, and Cass is going to actually take the victory here and puts his team, Cascade, into the semi-finals of the SC2 Improved Team League Season 3. Cascade with a 4-2 victory today over mYinsanity, and